It's Funderdome.
God dang it.
It's like a mini episode of the traditional Who Would Win episode. The combatants will be announced. Ray will then have 1 minute to debate. James will have 1 minute to debate. Ray will have a final 30 seconds of rebuttal, and then the judge, TV's Robert Clarke-Chan, will decide who wins. Here's your battle. From Dylan Cole Lewis in the Facebook group. Ray.
Yes.
You're repping Mr. Noodle from Elmo's World. James, you have Mr. Six, the Six Flags guy. Ray, you have 60 seconds and begin.
I mean, the first thing you have to remember about Mr. Noodle, and we're not going original Mr. Noodle, we're going Bill Irwin Mr. Noodle. That's because he's America's favorite clown. And the thing you have to keep in mind about Mr. Noodle is that he is made of magic. Mr. Six is athletic. Yes. Mr. Six has moves. Yes. But one thing that he is not is made of magic. Because one thing that I know from watching a lot of Sesame Street, and I have, is that the kids are behind Mr. Noodle. He's going to be in there working this fight against Mr. Six. He's going to miss his punch, and the kids are going to yell from the side, "No, Mr. Noodle, punch him in the face." And he's like, "Okay." And he's going to wallop Mr. Six right in the nose, because once the kids tell Mr. Noodle to do something, the fourth or fifth time he actually does it. And I don't think Mr. Six is going to be able to dance his way out of this one. Mr. Noodle, he also is a master of disguise and could be dressed as a police officer.
James, you do know who Mr. Six is, right?
Robert Clarke-Chan, I think.
I'm just checking. Do you know?
Yeah, I do. He's bald, glasses.
Yeah.
No, that's me. That's me,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
Are you
this guy, this person they like to have around him?
Oh, no, that's not.
Yeah, it's not Ray. That's not
Ooh,
Ray.
ouch. 60 seconds, begin.
Look, this is a classic battle. I see this as the Incredible Hulk versus Spider-Man. If the Incredible Hulk were 70 somewhat years old, which is how old this character is, versus a really weird, maybe even older character, but just doesn't show that kind of old age and has all the attributes of someone much younger with superpowers. All right, Mr. Noodle, look. The version you're talking about, Ray Cicadas, he's awesome. He's big. He's powerful. He's muscular, which means he doesn't have a lot of stamina, right? If he did, he'd get it done the first time. And every time he keeps going, he gets more tired. It's kind of pathetic. Now, Mr. Six, on the other hand, he appears from out of nowhere. He's going to surprise Mr. Noodle. He's got limitless energy. He's got speed. He's got agility. He has the ability to come at you, dance like a fool. That's all he can do, really. But the thing is that he's going to dance around Mr. Noodle. Mr. Noodle's going to get tired. He's going to try things 4, 5, 6 times. Maybe if he gets 6 times to try it, he'll succeed. But the thing is, Mr. Six will only need 1 time to win.
30 seconds, Ray. Go.
Now, the thing you have to keep in mind is opponents, because Mr. Six just, he goes after people on buses, random strangers. Mr. Noodle fought Legion on the TV show Legion. The arch enemy, he was able to defeat the son of Professor Charles Xavier, who could warp reality. Mr. Noodle beat a reality warper, and let's not forget, later in life, Mr. Noodle joined Law & Order's SVU and started being the coach to Mariska Hargitay, one of the biggest badasses on the planet.
And now we go to the judge. Me. I will say, you started out real weak there, Ray, with Made of Magic. I don't know what that is supposed to mean. But
Aren't we all?
Some of us.
Oh.
Some of us. I'm not going to say who here is made of magic, but it's none of us. None of us are made of magic.
Damn.
There are people in the world, though. So, but you did then bring in, do we consider the kids outside interference? I don't know. I don't know, because if they're in there, then yeah, absolutely, they're going to just tell him, they're going to give him all the instruction he needs to beat the piss out of Mr. Six. But I don't know if that's legit in a who would win matchup. James, you started out weird. Old Spider-Man versus old Hulk, and one was older than the other, and I couldn't tell which you was supposed to be who. So yeah, but you do raise a good point there about straight up speed. Mr. Six, no question, has got that over him. And speed wins fights. I always pick the fast guys when I'm playing a fighting game. So, I'm definitely down with that. Oh, boy. Wow. I did not think that you would do this, Ray. You brought in Legion. I know what a toxic influence that is for you, and how you avoid it like the plague, and you still don't understand it despite years. And I mean, there's articles on the internet. You could just look them up and figure out
Robert
what's going
Clarke-Chan,
on.
and as part of being paid with you, as part of a streaming service, we watched the pilot of Legion together and provided a commentary track at one point. That's
didn't
how
call us
important
back.
that show is to our lives.
Did not call us back,
They did
which
not call
I
us
think
back.
there might have been a reason for that.
I think it was the Pokemon that we watched, personally. I think we got way too graphic in our descriptions. Anyway, sorry, I'm interrupting.
But what I did not know is that he eventually went on to coach Mariska Hargitay in
Yes.
SVU.
He was the clinical psychiatrist that she goes to with her problems, and he helps her
Wow.
work through them. Yeah.
Okay. Well, ooh, boy.
You know, they both take place in New York, so I can see why they're connected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all one
yeah.
world. New York.
Yeah, Sesame Street, SVU, next season on NBC.
Here's the thing about that. I don't know if you saw the last week tonight with John Oliver about Law and Order, but Law and Order is a pernicious influence on American and indeed Western culture. It is maybe not the source, but definitely a symptom of all that's wrong with the prison industrial complex. So, I mean, I'm going to have to just strike that. I feel like the Legion and the SVU kind of cancel each other out. So I guess it comes down to whether I think those kids should be admissible. I mean, are they enough of a part of Mr. Noodle? Like, they could just be voices inside his head. Mm-hmm. They're voices inside his head. They aren't even the children. They're just inside his head because obviously Mr. Noodle is still in an episode of Legion. So, I mean, shoot, I don't want to, but I have to allow that. And in that case, like, wow, yeah, I think Mr. Noodle takes this. It'd be a tough one, but Mr. Noodle takes this one. I'm sorry, James. I really wanted to give this one to you, but
I am super excited to have, first off, correctly won this battle. I'm a little disappointed I didn't lose it, because then I could have stood up and said, and why should I care? I lose that opportunity. So Robert Clarke-Chan, you win, because hashtag nobody wins.
Bluey is never coming on this part of the show, just so you know. I am not going to subject Bluey to either of you.
Thank you. You know what I forgot? I forgot that if Mr. Six shows up, he's like a Peter Pan. What is that? A Pied Piper, I should say.
He is.
With kids. He would lure kids away from Mr. Noodle. By the way, what are these guys doing with kids?
I mean, I don't think they should be around kids.
I don't think so either. I mean,
I love this Mr. Noodle, but like, if my kid was like, I'm going on a weekend with Mr. Noodle, I'd be like, no, you're not. That's just good parenting.
Well, at least it's just one room, right? If it's with Mr. Six, they're all over the place at Six Flags. Who knows what's happening?
Yeah, well, you don't even have a choice. If Mr. Six comes to get you, you're just dancing your way onto that bus. I mean, I feel like we all missed opportunities today. It's a Robert Clarke-Chan battle.
I am all about missed opportunities.
That's right.
And that's Funderdome. Thank you to all our patrons. If you have any suggestions, DM me. Bye.